All right, welcome back, everyone, to the podcast of Solitude. You might not
Hey.
recognize my voice from the start of videos because it's been 7 episodes since I last hosted one of these.
Wait,
But
what?
they finally let me do this again.
Has
We
it?
let him
will-
out. He was kidnapped, but he's free now.
Yeah, by them, so that I wouldn't
Yeah.
be able to host these anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't
okay,
hold on to him.
We fed him.
He was too strong. We fed him too much.
He's vegetarian. He just eats leaves.
I just eat leaves. Yeah, it's I mean, yeah, true.
He got his hands on some eggs while I wasn't looking, and he just kicked the door down and ran.
Yeah, I ate the whole egg, shell and everything.
The next time I saw him, he was on Discord saying we're recording next, so here we are.
Yeah, runny egg all over his face.
I think he got half of it in his mouth. He just bit the shell and started chewing, and that gave him the strength. I think it was more of a mind over matter thing. I think it was just encouragement.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Protein over everything else.
Yeah, I mean, protein's important. Protein's very important. Anyway, what are we talking about this week? Loki. Episode 3.
Yeah.
It probably has a name, but I don't know it.
Loki. Yeah, I'll look it up.
Yes, you do that. This is the halfway point for Loki, isn't it? It's 6 episodes in total.
It is. Yeah.
Yes.
Very exciting. I think I speak for all of us when I say this is looking like the best Marvel show so far,
Yeah.
100%.
Well, yeah.
excluding
It has-
Netflix.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah. I mean,
I have to
there's still
think
3
for a
episodes to go.
minute.
Sorry.
no, they could ruin it.
Yeah, they keep ruining it. We'll see. But so
gonna-
far, so good.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have to think hard about the Netflix shows to think were any of them better than what we'd seen here. Then I realized
Daredevil,
season 1,
Punisher.
yeah, season 1 and 3 of Daredevil exists.
Yeah.
I
Season
didn't
1 of
actually
Jessica Jones.
Never watched 3 of Daredevil.
Bro, it's like the best one.
Really?
See,
Okay.
I'd give out to you, but I haven't watched season 3 of Jessica Jones, so I can't.
You can live with it.
Yeah, I got it.
It's better than season 2. Better than season 2.
Alright, that makes me kind of want to watch it now.
And everything.
Loki. Loki episode 3 is called Lamentis, which is the name of the planet.
Oh, the planet.
destroying moon thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, well, non-spoiler talk
Spoilers,
first.
Colm. Japers.
Because, oh yeah, well,
Spoilers. It could be like anything. That could be like
technically
something they
Disney
briefly-
spoiled it first, you know.
Yeah, but like the thing I said could be like something that's like briefly read off a wall or something.
That's
You
right.
know,
And it is. It is.
Yeah.
It's insignificant. Anyways, let's talk on
Yeah.
spoilers. Yeah. Mookie.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Did you like the episode?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
This episode was more consistently good than the first 2, but it
Yeah.
didn't have as strong an ending as the second episode, which the execution of that ending was just unreal in episode 2. But I think it was good.
I really like
I-
how we're seeing more of Loki using his magic now, because
You can finally use it.
Yeah. But also, to me, it's always kind of been like something in the background, even in the movies. Like, he kind of didn't use it as much after Avengers. At all. Like, he didn't do any magic in Ragnarok. Or Dark World. No, wait.
No, he didn't.
Dark World, he did. Yeah, he did a lot.
He turned into
Yeah,
Steve
yeah.
Rogers.
Go with that.
He had
Yeah.
the magic. He had the magic of friendship in Ragnarok.
Oh, that's true.
Aw.
That's true.
And didn't Thor throw something at him and he wasn't there or something?
Oh well, if you count the whole illusion he did with the in the beginning where he was Odin. In
Oh,
Ragnarok.
I guess.
Magical.
I guess. Yeah. He kind of started doing that illusion at the end of Dark World, though. So I kind of just took that as a follow through. But yeah, true.
But consider this. Consider this. He stopped doing it at the very end for the reveal of it's Loki. So technically, he had to do it again
Aha!
by the start of. Technically, he did magic.
He did. He
True.
did.
True.
Technically, actually.
Well, actually,
I'm
not wearing my glasses.
I had to take my glasses off. Like
Yeah.
greasy ponytail.
But yeah, I like the firework hand trick he did. I thought that was cool.
That was neat. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I also. Oh
I
wait,
was
we're
gonna,
not
I
doing
was gonna say
spoilers yet.
something,
I
then I realized.
was gonna say something, and then I realized we were doing spoilers.
Yes,
But I'll
yes.
say it afterwards. Yeah. Oh, okay. Non-spoilers then. What can we say? It's a good episode. Uh. Yeah, if you've watched episode 2, which I'm gonna assume you all have, Lady Loki is at the end. And she's pretty big in this episode, and she's a pretty good character, and there's some good chemistry between her and Loki. And we don't know that much about her yet, but she seems
We know some
interesting.
things.
We know some things, yeah. We know
Yeah.
very little, yeah.
She seems to be. Oh no, I can't say that either.
Yeah.
Okay, look, I think we can go more or less straight to spoilers. We learned
Spoilers.
we learned more about the characters. It's a good episode. I mean, if you're following the show, this one's not going to upset you any.
I think
Yeah,
it was the weakest so far, but it was still good.
Yeah, I think I think the spoiler talk in this episode is the least impactful of the 3 so far.
I think that's fair because
Yeah.
it was kind of a real filler episode. In fairness,
Yeah, still good, but yeah.
yeah, and I do think there's more going on behind the lines than we
Yeah, I
realize
think
yet.
so.
But we'll
Yeah.
talk about that. I have
Yeah.
a few theories.
I have a
Boys.
few
Oh, boy.
theories myself, actually.
Actually, but no, I know I say that about almost every episode that it's not
Yeah.
going to change your opinion on the show if you've liked it or not liked it so far, except for the final episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier, which changed my perception of the whole show for the absolute worst.
Same with WandaVision.
Then
For me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Sam on that one. Yeah. Yeah, okay, we'll go into spoilers.
Spoiler
So
warning
it's
from
like-
here on out.
yeah, something I've been thinking about, which will just be like we were saying this before we started recording, but they can just do it's like the most unpredictable show so far, and you just don't know what direction it can go in. There's like so much. Like I was thinking earlier today, after I finished watching episode 3, what if like so much of the show is just one big massive Loki mind game, and he actually knows like so much more about TVA that he's letting on.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
thinking a similar vein, but I think the TVA is foreign to him. It's simply because I don't have a reason to believe that he knows anything about them.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, but it's entirely possible because sorry, yeah.
No, sorry. I was just going to say, I do think that he wasn't as out of it as we saw in this episode. Or, alternatively, I don't think the Enchantress was as in much danger as she thought they were. And we'll get into that. We'll do a quick breakdown. We'll get back to it at the end.
Sorry, Enchantress as in Lady Loki.
Sorry, yes. So her name is revealed to be Sylvie, which in the comics is the Enchantress name. At least from memory.
Oh, that name rings a bell. That name rings a bell. To be fair, yeah. Another thing is
okay. So yeah, sorry. Sylvie in the comics was the second Enchantress.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I thought her costume looked very similar to Enchantress's, so makes sense.
Sorry, I was gonna say, yeah, like I feel like Loki. I feel like he might know more about Sylvie than he's also letting on, and maybe that. I mean, maybe not, but like that could be why he isn't asking as many questions about her backstory and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe he's manipulating her more than she's trying to manipulate him, and maybe she's already in some kind of Loki mind game. The way that like she was putting people into like mind traps and stuff. I don't know, but I think it's like it's so possible to do some kind of big, Loki, mischievous twist come the end of the series. And I hope they do.
I'd say that could happen, but at the minute, I think she's in full control.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a conversation early on. So what happens is at the end of the last episode, she goes through a portal and Loki follows her, and turns out it's back to the TVA she goes. And she is going to kill the timekeepers, who apparently are just up an elevator. which was not what I was expecting, because Alice from Hellboy was muttering like, "Oh no, I told her how to find the timekeepers," and turns out it was just took her right down the hallway, and there's the elevator.
It's gold.
Yeah, it's gold, just to specify.
Which, doesn't tip you off anyway whatsoever.
Oh, something important up here. This golden hallway with this elevator at the end. But yeah, and then a fist fight occurs. Loki tries to stop her. The TVA show up, and then I think either a female Loki, or Sylvie, as she calls herself, or Loki. That was a muttering quite. I'm having a fit.
I'm noticing.
Yeah, thanks. I just I realized my sentence was structured to take on two people, but then I used both of those on the same person. Sorry, no. I'm gonna refer to her as Sylvie from now on.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Or the Enchantress, you'll know who I mean. So the Enchantress or Loki, one of them hit the portal and they go through to another dimension, and then Loki vanishes it into his just some ethereal plane, and they end up on this planet, and then there's a bit of an adventure to get off the planet.
Yeah, and that's the episode.
Go well. And that's the episode.
Yeah,
And it ends with their only escape blowing up, and they realize they're going to die in this rock.
Yeah.
I think, okay, and I'll tell you why I think it, but I think the whole thing is an illusion created by Sylvie.
Yeah. I was thinking
And
that.
Interesting.
I think that because
she's trying to get information from Loki's head.
Yes, but why I think that is because very early on in the episode, she touches his head, and he's like, "The hell are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I can."
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, it didn't work," and she's like, "Bother." And
I think you're right.
I don't believe it.
I think it did work. Aha.
Later in the episode, she says that it works easy for some, and then for other people, it's a bit of a roller coaster. She has to really run them through the.
And this is a roller coaster.
Exactly.
Ah.
Because you saw with the other ATF, not ATF. That's the guys in America. What do you call it? TVA.
The TVA.
The ATF agent. The TVA agent. She took her to a cocktail bar and was all like, "Oh, hey, look at this. We're having drinks and we're old mates. And tell me where to find the timekeepers." But and then for Loki, whenever they get on that train, whenever Loki dresses up as a guard and sneaks her on,
yeah,
the shot, the scene is shot very similarly when they're sitting having drinks.
Ah.
And she's getting
confrontational.
Yes, and apropos of nothing, they start acting like friends. They've been at each other's throats.
Yeah, and also the roller coaster of emotions of Loki just becoming then really drunk all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just kind of lost focus of what they're trying to do, really.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And I think she's in control, and she wants something from him. And maybe she knew she'd make him vulnerable by saying in episode 2, "Oh, hey, you're not part of this. You're nothing."
Yeah.
But on the other hand of that, it could just be that Loki wasn't drunk, and it could be that Loki didn't destroy the time pad. And because he can just replicate anything.
Yeah, true.
You
can also create illusions, making it look like something's been destroyed when it hasn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think either one could be in control here, but I think it'd be more consistent for the Enchantress to be the one.
There's one thing I would point out, which really confused my brain, which was whenever Loki's doing the talking about love as a dagger metaphor, and he creates a dagger illusion. She tries to touch it, and she can't because it's not real. But then, whenever they're in the fight on a train, he creates a dagger again and throws it. And Sylvie is able to then pull the dagger out of the wall and use it as a weapon, even though it was an illusion created by Loki.
Yeah, but I think he can like create illusions
That's
and
just-
just like magically pop
Can he?
things.
That's
I
what
thought-
Loki does.
Yeah.
I
He
thought-
creates
okay.
the daggers that he then uses.
Yeah, I thought it was just him that could use them though, because it's like his magic. I didn't realize other people could also use them.
No, the way I always understood, he created daggers, or he brought them from wherever he's keeping them. But he can just as well make them disappear again just as quickly, because magic.
Oh. Yeah.
That's
okay,
that's
cool.
how I always understood.
Yeah. Yeah, I like those theories. But I wonder what information she's trying to get from him though. If she is putting him in an illusion. Especially if they were already on the way to see the timekeepers. Unless they weren't on the way to see the timekeepers. Unless the timekeepers aren't actually a thing. They're all distractions to get something else from Loki's brain. So much going on.
I mean, there's any number of things. I
Yeah.
still think the Sylvie is in control of everything theory. I think that's when I heard, because yeah, that one I heard and I buy into. The one where Loki wasn't actually getting drunk, and he was in control. That's what my brain was coming up with. But after hearing, I don't know which YouTube channel, I'm terrible for remembering who said what when it comes to YouTube videos and podcasts and whatnot.
Yeah.
Might have been the Mr. Sunday movies recap, which I might have watched this week. I don't remember. Yeah, they brought up the idea that Sylvie was calling the shots.
A bunch of BS. Yeah, no, I don't buy that. The Sylvian control thing. I don't know. I don't think the examples you've presented so far are enough for me to agree with that.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm sad about it, but that's fair.
Because first of all, when she tells Loki how, because he asked her like, how does the mind control
Yeah, I
stuff
was
work?
thinking that too, Sam. Yeah.
And she says like, oh, with some people it's easy, blah blah blah, everything you said. But then when she specifically talks about the more difficult one, she says she has to create an illusion of like a happy memory type thing for them, which is why for the TVA agent, they were in that cocktail bar however many years ago. Because apparently that was a happy memory for her. So then if this is all, if she's trying to get information out of Loki, and so she's trying to bring him to a happy memory, why is this random planet that's about to be destroyed a happy memory? Why is this place?
Oh, I was going to bring up something else actually. I thought you were going to say, I was thinking about the part where he asks her about, where she brings up the TVA and how they were originally from
Earth.
Yeah, and he's like, were they? Yeah, like that kind of seems more like, more like, I feel like if he was in an illusion, that conversation wouldn't happen. I don't know. So,
I think a happier idea for Loki is
destruction.
him being pandered to, where he gets them onto the train. What else? I just had a thought. Oh, he comes up with the idea to get on the Ark. Which gives him the credit for things. She doesn't have to seem like she's in control. The best thing she can present him with to get him vulnerable is to make it look like he's in control and he's somehow comfortable. And if she's not in full control, no, it's not a memory. But but if she has to do it for someone and not have it be like easy for her, like she said it was, then I don't think she could fool Loki with a memory.
Yeah.
Alright, sure.
I mean, another thing I was thinking of is Loki's character is a bit like, this could just be down to the writing, which it probably is, but he's kind of more sympathetic in a way, like kind of more similar to Loki we know as opposed to Loki at the time of Avengers. it's probably just down to the writing, but it's like the part where he's like, all these people are gonna die. Whereas in Avengers, he was literally just like merciless. Like kill everyone in the town hall.
Yeah, there's no way just watching a bunch of videos of what happened after
Yeah.
Avengers and how he became a good guy makes him a good guy. I call BS on that.
Yeah. It's just like his feeling of sympathy for others, which is a kind of appeared out of nowhere, I feel. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of thoughts.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not sure. I'd be disappointed if like this entire episode, all 30 minutes of it,
it's just in
was
his head. Yeah.
was
I would
just
be
in his
too.
head.
I
And
would be
that
too.
means that at least a couple minutes the next one will also have to be in their head because they need to get out.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, with that said, it makes the most logical sense for how they're actually gonna get out of that situation.
I mean,
Does
alternatively,
it?
the TVA just show up and just cook their just clean their clocks and cook their geese and just drag them back and process them all over again.
I mean, my theory is still that the tampon is actually still just hidden by Loki in some
Or
whatever.
Oh,
The tempad, is that what it was called? I don't know.
the tampon.
tampon.
You know, the tampon.
Yeah, that. Yeah, no, I mean, I did think that, but then I just saw the look on his face whenever he was 30 seconds away from getting turned to paste.
Oh yes, Loki is very bad at acting, as we know in all the previous
but
films.
nobody was watching. Everybody walked away.
Sylvie didn't.
No, she did. She explicitly walked away. She explicitly turned her back and just walked around the corner at the very end.
Okay, but that could literally just be that, you know, it's a TV show, and you're
I mean, I
trying to get
suppose-
people to come back next week.
I guess, Sam, you've got me that it is a TV show. No, it's weird because there's a lot of dead air you'll have to edit it.
I'm used to it.
A
Fair.
lot of this is just like me thinking about
Oh yeah, me too.
more theories, like as we're talking. But yeah,
I don't buy that the tampon was just magically destroyed by him rolling down the hill a couple of times. When when Sylvie asked him where is it, he like half jokingly says in his heart. I still took that as like, oh, he definitely hid it somewhere that's not just in his pocket, because that'd be like an obvious place for her to look. Like she could just
yeah,
overpower him
Yeah.
and check his pocket.
yeah,
There's
Other
no
thing
way he
is-
hides it there.
yeah. And also, he rolled out of the train, or he fell out of the train before her. So like in that time, before she came out, he could have done any number of things. Or like simply he could the broken device, whatever you guys are calling it, tampon. Say
That's
I
not-
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously that's not what it's called.
It's called a
Um,
temp pad.
What's it called? Tempad.
Temp
Okay.
pad.
Yeah, tempad.
Tampon.
Yeah. Tempad. It could be perfectly well working, and he just creates the illusion that it looks broken, which is like probably the easiest thing for him to do.
Yeah.
Um.
Illusions are kind of his thing.
Ooh, another thing. Yeah, another thing is if Loki is in control of the situation, then maybe the whole fight and everything was just a ruse to get out of the train and like cause a distraction and everything, because he was going to like present magic tickets, but instead he accidentally did fireworks. Whereas I feel like Loki would be able to just create magic tickets.
But he
You
was
know, like-
drunk. Or as they say, full.
No, as we all think.
Yeah.
It's really weird because a lot happened in this episode, but
Yeah.
we're at the same time we're very hung up on what
I
even
don't think it
happened
did.
this episode.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think a whole lot happened this episode.
Okay, well, there was a lot of small set pieces. How about that?
No.
I honestly feel like each episode is just raising more and more questions.
Yeah,
I'm so confused as to how this multiverse works.
me too.
So confused.
Because
like,
I checked. Sorry, I rewatched some scenes from episode 1 and 2, like
Yeah.
around the multiverse and around them talking about it.
Yeah.
And
That's
from
smart.
that little infomercial, like cartoon,
Yeah.
it really seems like there is no multiverse, and that's what the TVA are trying to avoid. That's the only vibe I get from it. But then you've got all kinds of different variant Lokis, and you've got the Enchantress here, who apparently led Loki's life, but there was minor differences, like she knew she was adopted.
Okay, I'll be honest. I don't understand the Enchantress part like at all. Like I didn't. I know she is a Loki variant, but like I didn't. I was like, is she the same person as Loki, but just like a different universe, or
Well,
is
yeah.
she like completely different? I actually don't know.
Because here's the thing, like now that we've figured out that in the comics this character is the Enchantress,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
you think there is no multiverse. This is just a different person thinking they're Loki.
I think the TVA are full of crap. Like, we've kind of been able to put that together from episode 1.
Yeah.
And in this episode, obviously, it turns out that they're all variants that basically just got kidnapped and forced to work for the TVA.
If that's true, and your theory of Sylvie's just creating this giant mastermind to trick Loki, and she's just telling him random crap.
That doesn't mean that everything she has to tell him is a lie. I think that is true.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, that's just fake tension. In which case, this show will go
Yeah,
same
yeah.
as Falcon and Winter Soldier, starting
If
bad
that's-
and
If that's true though, and they are all variants working for the TVA, that could equally mean that variants aren't the thing that actually exists. Like I think Jordan said, or Sam, I can't remember. In which case, Sylvie isn't a variant as well. She's just a completely different person.
Yeah,
And
I said that.
this whole TVA is just some kind of simulation, tricking people into thinking they're timekeepers or whatever.
I think it's likely that it like the TVA does exist. Just that the time, I almost said time lords, the timekeepers, just aren't a thing, and that all these people working for the TVA are just doing. Well, they've just been lied to into doing this job that they don't have to do.
I'm so curious.
kind of thing.
What if the time stone's behind it? And wait.
no, I don't think so, because they just
don't
credited
think
all
so.
the Infinity Stones immediately.
I think Marvel's done with the Infinity Stones. I think.
Thankfully.
We've had the Infinity Saga. You can't have more after the saga's finished.
You could almost say that you shouldn't have more movies after.
You could, but I won't.
Nothing? Okay, yeah.
Your voice dropped out halfway through that.
Oh, for crying out loud.
I thought it was just me. But yeah, yeah. Honestly, it could go. Maybe everything we've said just isn't going to happen, and it just picks a completely different way to go. I honestly don't know.
I kind of hope that's the case.
Yeah, I hope we get the same variation in each episode, because each episode's been very unique so far.
Yeah, I really like that.
Falcon
really like that.
and the Winter Soldier was pretty much very similar the whole way through.
Yeah, and WandaVision had the same kind of structure where it was like different decades.
It's like
yeah.
a different decade each time, but it was always just a sitcom, you know?
Yeah.
It was always doing the same thing in that it was always doing something different without any goal, any seeming goal up until the last 2 episodes. So, like, yeah, I don't know. I like where this is going.
I really like it. Yeah.
This was the most potential out of anything I've seen so far.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah.
And I hope it sticks to landing. The fact they have one director over the 6 episodes probably helps, because it wasn't.
Oh, do they? I
Director.
didn't know that.
It was a different director each episode. The last ones, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
To be fair, that's usually the case with TV shows.
That is true. That is true.
Unless you're Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Yeah, but those two are just kind of built different, aren't they?
Yeah, Vince Gilligan do be built tough.
You do. Still need to watch Better Call Saul.
You really do.
Same here. Yeah, I haven't watched it.
El Camino was peak though.
True.
Oh, I didn't watch that. Was it actually good?
Oh, it's
yeah.
Okay.
It's-
Oh.
It's
very-
the same
very
quality
simple.
as Breaking Bad, I think.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Only filmed 10 years later on a movie budget, so everything looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But like,
it's a lot.
Just,
Yep.
I was gonna say it just kind of seemed like a more longer drawn out Breaking Bad than it needed to be. But
No, I
No.
thought it was necessary.
good. I'll
Well,
check it out then.
no, it wasn't necessary, but it was certainly nice, and it was definitely worth
Yeah.
watching.
Satisfactory. Like, or no, that like, satisfying thing.
Yeah.
Um. Hmm.
is there any other revelation in this episode?
Nah.
No, not really, to be honest. Yeah, I like the points that Jordan made of them all being quite different. And I just hope that in the last few episodes, everything just ties together. Because I feel like each episode, we're just getting more and more questions. So there's more and more potential loose ends. And I just hope we get as much answered as we want by the end. I
Yeah,
hope we
that's
aren't-
my worry.
Yeah, I just hope we aren't left digging through plot holes, whatever we're doing.
My sincere worry is that we've all been complaining that like Batman versus Superman, and the likes of Iron Man 2, their biggest problems was that they weren't worried enough about being a film as much as they were about just setting up for the next 10 to come.
Mhm.
And I'm a little concerned that this show is just, oh, Doctor Strange is coming, so let's create
Yep.
a multiverse.
Yeah,
I'm
I
a
hope-
little concerned that's where this is.
same.
Because
Yeah.
that's what they did with the last two shows. Let's not
Yeah.
forget.
Yep.
Yeah. Which
And
is why I wouldn't be disappointed if the TVA is just nothing to do with multiverse expansion, but I feel like it is.
Yeah, I feel like this is where maybe the MCU is starting to show its cracks because,
Yeah.
you know, having Wanda and Doctor Strange is fine. That's good. But the reason WandaVision happened, I think, well, firstly, money. But
Yeah.
as well as that, I think it's because we haven't had her as a mainline character ever.
No.
She was
agree,
always a
yeah.
side character,
Yeah.
and you never got a serious sense of her personality. And the same with Vision; they were always there; they were always cool, but they never got the time they needed. And then all of a sudden, Wanda was going to be a front runner in a film, and
Yeah.
I think that was the only purpose
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
of WandaVision. The only real purpose, because if you think about it, if you just cut that out, that whole TV show, on a practical level, nothing's changed.
Mhm.
You could have WandaVision
Yeah.
without
Except
WandaVision.
for what's the girl that what's her name again?
Agatha Harkness.
No. The girl that got powers by
Oh, Captain
running.
Marvel powers.
Yes. What?
Rambo.
what's it? Rambo.
Oh, Monica Rambeau, yes.
Monica Rambo. Except for her.
Yeah.
She's like the
I-
only
I
thing that really
Yes.
just because she got powers. Like, if you
Yeah,
watch a
but-
movie and she now has powers, you'd be like, what?
Yeah, but even then, I mean, that's just set up for another film.
Yeah.
Or another show.
Yeah.
As opposed to
I mean, in my opinion, as soon as Marvel start, like, anytime a movie or whatever starts introducing time travel, it just makes it makes
I
more
guess.
room for potential plot holes. Yeah, and I
Yes,
feel
yes.
like Marvel should have just said, okay, we've done time travel, we'll move on to multiverse stuff, and we'll just leave time travel behind. But now with Loki, they're still keeping it going, and I'm just a bit worried that they aren't going to be able to handle that they're biting off like way more than they can chew, basically.
yeah.
Yeah. My worry is just that they're digging themselves into a hole.
Yeah,
'Cause, like-
yeah. Because
Like we said,
Yeah.
there's new questions every week.
yeah, exactly. Like multiverse, I think is good, and multiverse, I think they can do hopefully well. With Doctor Strange and stuff, and it's easier to do because you don't have to worry about plot holes as much. But time travel is just so confusing, and this is one of the most confusing time travel things I have ever watched. And
Because it's got the multiverse not the multiverse mixed in, and we don't really know
Yes.
yet, and we
Yes.
don't know how much of it is real.
Yes.
Because the seeds of doubt have been sown in the very people that have explained the whole thing to us.
Yeah.
We don't know if the people that are talking about time travel even know about time travel themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could turn around that Owen Wilson is a villain. Like episode 4 or 5 could be like, Owen Wilson, the Time Variance Authority, you're not created by them. You were a variant. You remember it was white.
And then
And he could
he's
just
like,
turn around.
"What did
and
you
go,
say?"
No, not even that. I think he could turn around and go, yeah. And then
Wow.
he's the bad guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. No.
Oh, okay.
As
Okay,
in,
like,
what
oh,
did you
what-
say? As in, what? How did you find this out?
I think it'd be, yeah.
Like Owen Wilson could be the guy that's like manipulating all of these people in the TVA. Maybe what we didn't
Even-
see is at the end of episode 2, whenever they found that girl, and she was like, "Oh, I told her where the timekeepers were." Owen Wilson was like, "What?" And just like exterminate her or whatever.
I mean, I guess, but also he's showing
We
a bit
don't
more,
know.
like, emotion than. I don't think it's gonna happen, and I don't think he's gonna like a cold, methodical or
Nah,
anything. But I
he
think
would make a good villain.
he could know more than he does. But I think stoicism and kind of lighthearted jovialness are the new models for villains. Like, back in the day, it was
Yeah.
lynch somebody that stepped out of line, and you kind of got that with Thanos. He was always very serious. But the new model for intimidating, I kind of
Yeah.
since Loki has been the jovial, joking around.
I get the Harkness. So
Yeah, I get the Harkness. It's
Yeah.
been very, I'm intimidating.
unpredictable.
I could kill everyone on the street, but here I am,
Yeah.
clearly having a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Joker.
Joker. Yeah, I guess he kind of pioneered it, didn't he?
Yeah, I would think so.
That
Mm.
character that isn't real, he pioneered that thing.
Well, I think you could say that Nolan pioneered that with The Dark Knight, because that's what made Loki popular
Yeah. Definitely.
for normies.
I suppose.
Mm.
Sorry, I'm failing to make a connection. Nolan made Loki popular? What?
No, because whenever he did Dark Knight, then Marvel were like, "Oh, that's such a cool villain," and then they made Loki
Yes,
kind of
yes,
that. Yeah.
Or sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
Like Loki's whole motive, his kind of personality trait is based loosely off the Joker
Mm-hmm.
on a less serious level.
Yeah, and I was saying that like it made those type of villains pop.
Yeah.
In the mainstream.
Obviously.
It's because
Dark
they
Knight was
have
popular.
it's because they have more depth. Like they're less they're definitely bad or they're definitely kind of good. It's more of like they have their methods and they have their reasons for doing the things that they do. But at the same time, there's a way you can talk to them or reason with them in a way that there will be reason talked to or reasoned with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's much more we could say about this.
I don't know. I can't really
Yeah.
think of much. I was very
Yeah.
disappointed that this episode is only 30 minutes. When the other two have been like 45 to 50 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, fair.
I've gotten to a stage where between.
I mean, I don't really. Sorry, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't really mind as long as I'd rather they do 30 minutes and have the story that they want to tell rather than aim for 45-minute story whenever they don't have enough material to do 45-minute story, and then just filling in with like random pointless filler.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
fair, but I didn't feel that way with this episode.
It's a bit
Okay.
upsetting when you wait week to week.
Yeah.
I will say that. But in the whole, I don't really mind it. I think quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't like the quality of this, so there you go.
Well, hey, there we go. So, what especially, Sam? Because we've been talking about things we've liked the whole episode and fan theories, but what didn't you like about it?
I don't know. I think the pacing felt a little off to me.
Okay.
For starters, then there's some moments in the writing, like specifically, you brought it up earlier when as one of your reasonings for why this is all part of the Enchantress's big illusion, whatever. Well, the moment when they're on the bus and then suddenly they just start being chums.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That just came out of left field
Yeah,
so
yeah.
hard.
I guess
Like that just took me out of
Yeah.
the
I mean,
I was gonna say movie, the show.
I won't lie. I feel like the pacing of this whole show has been a bit off and on to me as well. But it's
I
just
thought
the
it was
whole.
really good in the second episode.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's just the whole intrigue of the show. It's just like really keeping me hooked. Like I'm enjoying it even when I know that it's slow at parts because I'm like, it's gonna get better soon.
Yeah, I do think the more we talk about it, this seems kind of like
Coming from the end of a tunnel.
Jordan?
Is this better?
Yeah,
that's much better.
You sound like you were throwing your mic across the room.
Yeah,
and trying
you sound
to
like you were
talk
getting
into it.
further and further away.
Yeah.
Does it sound like that again?
Yes.
No.
The
it's
sound
fine
isn't
now.
coming through the right microphone.
It sounds
It's okay
good
now.
now.
Jordan. It's good. It's
Yeah,
good now.
I know. That's because I'm standing next to my laptop. Why won't you come through the microphone on my headset, you silly bully? What was I saying?
Tech
Oh yeah,
issues.
the more we talk about the more we talk about this episode, the more I think it's probably a pocket episode. Because
Yeah.
it's just what you said there, Colm. The intrigue's kind of gone. And they started to replace it with something else because the intrigue was, oh, what's this other variant up to? And now what's their plan? And now we know their plan. It's kill the timekeepers.
Yeah. Good
But
point.
now they've shifted the focus to, well, what are the timekeepers? Oh,
Yeah,
now
yeah.
they're definitively, well, provided she's telling the truth, they're not everything they say they are.
We still don't know why she wants to kill the timekeeper.
No, we
That's
don't.
still there.
But at the same time, that one thing isn't enough intrigue to carry 4 episodes. So
No.
I think it was just a bit of unfortunate placement, maybe, that at the end of this episode we got 3 sentences that the timekeepers aren't actually creating people, they're just yoinking variants to do their dirty work.
Yeah, for me that was like the part of the episode I was like, oh, cool, we're finding out something.
But then they move on immediately.
Yeah,
Yep.
that just shot me down completely. Yeah.
Which is fair enough. And that's what brings you back next week.
Yeah, I feel
But
like
I do think they just didn't do enough to get the intrigue going elsewhere.
yeah, it was a
But they
real
clearly
wonder.
will.
It was a real WandaVision moment, that one, where it's like you find out something's happening, and then immediately it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
moving on. Like really, yeah,
Yeah.
like very WandaVision-y. Yeah. Which is annoying as well, because I feel like if you were Loki, if you were in Loki's position, you'd be like, no, we're stopping here. Like, tell me everything. Like, what exactly is going on? I mean, yeah, unless he does know more than he's letting on, which I don't see happening. Like, I do think he's completely in the dark here about who the TVA
Not about
actually are.
TVA.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like it's difficult to keep on talking about this because we will just keep on spitting out theories, which
Because nothing definitive happened. Like, at least last week,
Exactly,
it was like, oh,
exactly.
he's female.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
The timelines
you
were
know,
bombed. Glad we saw
the
so much
time-
of that.
Exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's...
Yeah, that's another thing. All that's going
You
on. in
see
the
my
background,
points
and-
now, why I
yeah.
didn't like this episode, why I didn't like that it was only 30 minutes.
Yeah, and that also brings back Jordan's whole thing about like, what is a multiverse? Why are these timelines allowed to happen? Like, we just don't know. we just don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, it is actually so annoying because, like, with that said, if that was like as big an impact as like they were letting on in episode 1, where branching off the timelines like that is like detrimental to everything, surely we would have seen something happen in this episode where the TVA just like intervene in any situation that's going on. especially with Loki and other Loki.
Hmm.
Yeah. And okay. Here's I think one more point before we start thinking about ending this. But like they were not being. Actually, never mind. I was gonna say they weren't being like quiet about anything, but it's one of those situations where it doesn't matter, isn't it? Because like everyone is gonna die.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, yeah. I was gonna say maybe they are just in someone's heads, but it could just be in an apocalyptic situation. Hmm. Yeah, I mean a lot of twists. They're just like going back and forth because like you did genuinely think that they're gonna go to the Ark now. Loki and female Loki are gonna get off planet. And they
That
just
boom.
blew up. Yeah. And like that didn't need to be there. Like they didn't need to say, let's go to the Ark. But they did, and they did go over there. Which maybe brings back to Jordan's point where she's just trying to let Loki be in control of the situation. But yeah.
But then maybe not.
But then maybe not. Yeah.
I mean, another point I'd have on the pacing as well, like that scene with like that old woman who was just in
I
a
thought that
shack
was
in the middle of nowhere.
I did enjoy that scene, but yeah, it didn't need to be there.
It didn't really serve any purpose that I could see, apart from have some somewhat comedic humor between these two characters.
Sorry, what scene was this?
The one where he
The old
tried
woman in the
disguising,
shack.
Oh, the old woman in
and
the
then
shack.
Loki tried disguising as her ex or whatever. And she's like,
I
he
mean,
doesn't talk like that.
I guess doesn't bother me. That will learn about the world somehow.
Yeah.
Well, why? The world's about to explode. What's the point of learning about it?
Maybe there's a way off. Oh yeah.
Like, who cares about this world? We've literally been told. The first thing we've been told about this world, we're 5 minutes away from this being, a black hole or whatever.
But the gist of this episode was them trying to get off the planet.
Yeah, getting off the planet, not saving the planet, though.
Who said anything about saving it?
Well, why else would you need to learn about the planet? They're getting off it
find out
anyway.
where
Then
the train is to leave, which is what they do.
great, we got a 10-minute waste of airtime of
Okay,
30 minutes.
What would you rather do if you were on that planet? And you didn't
Anything
need
else?
to get off? Anything else? You wouldn't
They
ask
literally-
the locals.
They literally could have just walked up to that train station and like, oh, what's happening here? Then one of them goes,
But they
oh yeah,
didn't-
well,
Where? How do they find it? They don't ask the old lady. Isn't that what they
how'd
asked
they
her?
find the old lady? They just walked around the desert. There you
Yeah,
go.
so
There's
you're
your
just
answer.
gonna walk around you're just gonna walk around the desert and maybe find a train off a planet.
Yeah. I mean, did you see any civilization around that train station they were at? No. There's a queue of
town
people.
right next to it. There's
Yeah.
a town right
So
next to it.
you find the town. What?
So you're gonna all right.
How else do people find towns when they are freaking stranded somewhere? They start walking in one direction.
in the desert?
Yeah. I fail to see the issue.
All right.
Walking in the desert would be longer than 10 minutes wasted time in one episode.
Yeah, you cut a
It's
montage
far-
of 30
far
seconds
quicker
of them walking.
That's boring. There's zero character development there. I would prefer the old lady part because at least you get a bit of comedic humor between the two Lokis. It's like, oh, cool. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, they had to see each other work
Like, it
for them
wasn't
to bother asking questions.
like 5-10 minutes of filler. I'm fine with. And it wasn't
See,
even.
normally
I
am too, but not when it's only 30 minutes. When you only got 30 minutes for the episode. When every other episode so far has been 50 minutes.
You know what would really suck? Oh, you know what's really gonna suck?
If it keeps being 30 minutes, just like the Bad Batch is
No.
doing, yeah.
I'm okay with that, but you know what would really suck? If we get to episode 4 and it's just Owen Wilson and the ATF dealing with time bombs all over the place, and we don't get any Loki until episode 5.
Because that's my suspicion and
Worry.
worry.
That would be
Oh
text problem,
man,
wouldn't it?
imagine they're just on this planet and it's like, okay, you'll see them in 2 weeks' time. Let's go back to planet Earth.
This moon's about
No,
to turn him
no,
into paste.
they
Well,
can't.
That's how
Don't.
Owen Wilson's
It's
doing.
called Loki. No.
Oh, but they did it with WandaVision.
Yeah.
it was
No,
WandaVision.
I hated it. Ugh. Wait, did they do a full episode like that?
Uh-huh.
No,
Episode,
they did.
episode,
They did.
episode 4 of WandaVision was
Forgot
just
about that.
Marcy and
Well, John, you know what episode number's coming up next to Loki? Episode 4.
No.
It's like
They
poetry, it
can't.
rhymes.
Oh,
it's like history
no.
repeats itself.
Yeah, what if it's just a Owen Wilson episode? I like how we call him Owen Wilson, by the way. He's Morpheus. I love
He
it.
has a name, we all know it, but-
I don't remember. I don't know the name. I don't remember it.
Yeah. So imagine just an Owen Wilson episode, and then like at the end, they solve the time problems or whatever's going on, and they're like, "Okay, where's Loki and other Loki?" And they're like, "There they are," and then they go rescue them from the planet and like put them back into captive of the TVA again. No, they can't. I feel like that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it is.
Damn it.
I fear it. I fear it's like that only leaves 2 episodes then, because you know the penultimate episode has to be something significant.
How's that tunnel looking?
Sorry, I'm back. You know the penultimate episode has to look like very significant, and then the actual final episode will be the culmination of things. But if we spent this episode, and if we spent this episode faffing about in the planet, and then the next episode,
faffing about
with Owen Wilson, it's like that's really 4 episodes that you could be bothered with.
Yep.
I mean, it depends. Depends how if we are going to do an episode like that next, where it is about Owen Wilson. Depends how
they're gonna do it. I just know it.
But I just know it as well. But they could make it interesting if we find out more about the TVA, and it's like the kind of case where Owen Wilson and everyone else is like, wait, this isn't what we think it is. We weren't born into this or whatever, and then they kind of start questioning everything, and then episode 5, Loki tries helping them out or something. It could work. I'm just annoyed that we won't see Loki if they do go that way, which I feel like they are.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Hiddleston's still the best part about the show.
Yeah, like as long as they don't do the episodes where it's literally just solving the problems that they caused in the second episode. Like, if they're gonna do an episode which is about the TVA, at least give us like some intrigue and like show us more about them. Like, this would be the episode to maybe reveal most stuff about the TVA that we've been wondering. And then the final 2 episodes maybe is like a Loki twist or something, hopefully.
Here's what's going to happen. The next episode, episode 4, is going to be half an hour of them faffing about during the timeline, providing us barely any new info about the timeline.
No.
And then at the very end, Loki and Enchantress are magically going to appear out of a portal in front of Owen Wilson. And that'll be the end. That'll be the cut. Then episode 5, the first half will be a flashback to what Enchantress and Loki have been doing to get off the planet. And yeah, that's my theory.
You also remember though, where Owen Wilson won't believe Loki that the Time Variance Authority are dishonest and will fight him for a bit.
Oh, that'll be the other half of the episode.
Until something happens, and then at the end of episode 5, we get a bit of a reveal about the Time Variance Authority, and then episode 6 is just a big fight.
Finale time.
Turns out, all 3 of the timekeepers are just 3 different Loki variants. Show over.
That's my theory from episode 1.
Yeah, hang on. Whoa. What if? Hear me out. What if the 3 timekeepers is Loki, Sylvie, and that one girl that we saw, the child that we saw in episode 1?
And that would suck. That was the big reveal at the end. Oh man, I'd want my money back.
What if the timekeeper is just Kevin Feige taking a dump on a desk? It's like, this is how the timeline ends. This is it. I've done it. Work in progress over.
It's Rick, Morty, and the President of the United States.
Donald Trump. I mean, no, not anymore. Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Bye, Jordan.
It's Matt Hancock, Boris Johnson.
And that ain't that can affair with.
yeah.
That woman he wrote COVID restrictions with. Oh. Oh man, I don't even know like who's conservative or liberal in the UK, but man,
Oh,
I love this.
I don't think they even know.
I don't think it matters. I don't
I
think
don't
that's
think I really don't think that's what's important to the government right now. They have
like
much
that's
bigger
all.
problems to think
It's
about.
hilarious because that's all America's ever worried about. But
Yeah,
meanwhile,
Yeah.
you're here, and it's like no one cares because they're just not even running a country.
yeah. No, literally, especially like just experience like living in England. It's like if you talk about to anyone about like voting and stuff, they'd be like, "Oh, I think I'll vote for this person because like they aren't as bad as another person."
They
Yeah.
have a
Like,
nice
nothing.
eye.
Yeah, nothing is like, "Oh, this guy he has like flawless policies." Like it's just like this is the way to go. Nothing's like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like this guy will put us in the less debt than the other, but he will still put us further in debt.
Yeah.
I think when I was 9 or 10, my perception of politics was shattered forever whenever I knew, like, my parents told me, and you hear in the news that Ireland is in deep debt. And then I watched the news, and they're like, and we're going to spend €2 million building a park. And I was sitting there like, what? What? Well, we don't have money.
Hashtag politics with the
We're
text.
in minus money. We're spending 2 million on a park in Dublin or somewhere.
Oh, that's the funniest thing I've heard today.
Well, Dublin also has that a hospital that's been like trying to be built for like a decade now, and they just
Okay.
keep on going into deeper debts and like miscalculating
Oh.
everything.
If you want to talk about buildings that don't need to be built being built in cities that are in massive debt, let me tell you about Germany.
Sam's house.
Because look, equally valid. Yeah. I'll be honest.
House needs to be built.
This house needs to be burned to the ground.
Anyways, go tell us about German politics.
No, in Germany, in Berlin, they have been building a new airport for I think 15 years now, and they're still not done because they keep making changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The money keeps piling up, and the best part is Berlin has a perfectly fine airport that's been working for like 30 years.
By the way, we should wrap this up as quick as possible before our recording software decides to just kill 5 minutes again.
It's long past that.
True.
But yeah, shall we wrap up?
Yeah, we can wrap up and then we can just
we should
talk about politics all we want after.
All right. Well, thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening,
Whoever
guys.
listened.
Thanks for listening to us ramble on about everything, but
The
anything.
state of our respective countries, except Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland didn't get a touch.
Oh yeah, Northern Ireland is great. Nothing's wrong with Northern Ireland. Moving on.
Oh.
Before they deport me. Yeah, thank you for listening. We are the Podcast of Solitude. Podcastsolitude@gmail.com. @podcastsolitude on Instagram.
The gram.
Yeah.
The gram, exactly. More coming soon. No, they're not. Yeah.
Yes.
Send us stuff,
This is a
I guess.
podcast of solitude. Hope you're listening in solitude.
Wow.
I hope you're not. I really hope you're not.
I can tell from personal experience. I hope you're not.
I'm joking. I hope you're not.
I would sooner shoot myself in the head than go through another day of lockdown.
And he would. So we're wrapping up.
I wouldn't.
Oh. Yeah, no. Thanks for listening. And what's the
week.
Truman Show saying? Good morning, good
In case I
afternoon.
don't see you,
I've
good
never seen
afternoon,
it.
good evening, and good night.